So today we're looking at a brand new kind of hall monitor, one that's powered by artificial intelligence. Now, this thing promises to tackle the super old problem of cheating, but you guessed it, it also brings a whole new set of questions to the table. And that really is the big question, isn't it? Can a machine actually tell if you're cheating? With so many exams happening online now, keeping things fair is getting tougher. So naturally, people are looking to AI for help. But can an algorithm really understand all the little things we do, especially in a stressful exam? Let's dive in and see. Look, let's be real. As long as we've had tests, we've had people trying to cheat on them. It's just a fact. We're talking wandering eyes, notes hidden up a sleeve, the whole 9 yards. Well, now AI is stepping into the ring as the newest contender in this age-old battle, and it's promising to be more watchful than ever before.
Okay, so what is this new contender? Well, it's called an AI proctor, and you can think of it as a system built to give human supervisors a pair of digital, all-seeing eyes.
So here's the basic idea. An AI proctor uses cameras, computer vision, and machine learning to, analyze what students are doing during a test. And the key thing here is that it's not just passively recording. Nope. It's actively searching for patterns that might signal someone's trying to cheat. Right, so how does a piece of software see anything? And how does it decide if something looks a little suspicious? Well, it all boils down to a few key digital senses. Let's pop the hood and take a look at its toolkit.
Okay, the whole system is really built on 3 core ideas. First, it looks at where a student is looking, their gaze. Second, it scans their desk for anything that shouldn't be there. And third, it actually tracks their movements. Let's go through them one by one.
All right, first up, head pose analysis. The AI is specifically trained to flag certain ways you're holding your head. So if you're looking down for a really long time, that might mean you're checking notes or a phone. Looking sideways for too long could be you're peeking at your neighbor's paper. And that's the key thing to remember. It's not just a quick glance. It's looking for sustained, suspicious behavior.
And the tech behind this is actually pretty cool. The system literally maps out key points on a student's face, the corners of their eyes, their nose, their mouth, and it uses that to build a kind of 3D model of their head. And from that, it can figure out the exact angle and direction they're looking, all in real time.
Okay, next up, the AI puts on its digital contraband officer hat. It's scanning the whole area for things that are a big no-no during an exam. We're talking smartphones, open textbooks, any kind of unauthorized notes, that sort of thing.
And this is a perfect example of a really specialized AI doing its thing. It's powered by a neural network called YOLOv8. Now what's cool is that it's been specifically trained on tons of images of classroom items, which means it gets really, really good at spotting things that just shouldn't be there during a test. And finally, let's talk about movement tracking, because this is where it all comes together. See, the system doesn't just see a classroom full of people, it sees individuals. It uses this algorithm called DeepSORT to give every single student a unique ID. And that's how it can follow each person's specific movements for the entire exam.
So once it's locked on to a student, it starts looking for red flags. Stuff like, are they just getting up and leaving their seat? Are they moving around in a weird way? And this is a big one. It's even calculating the distance between students to see if they're getting a little too close, maybe collaborating.
Okay, so that's how it works. But what does this look like in the real world? Well, the system is actually pretty flexible. It has 2 main ways of working.
You've got 2 basic options. There's live camera mode, where it's watching webcam feeds as they happen and can shoot off an instant alert to a human proctor if it sees something. Then you have video upload mode. This is where you feed it a recording of the exam after it's done, and it spits out a super detailed report. So yeah, it's really the difference between catching something live versus reviewing the evidence later.
Now, at the very heart of all of this analysis is one single number, the risk score. Basically, the AI takes everything it's seen, the head movements, the objects, the weird pacing around, and boils it all down into one score for each student. So you might see a score like, say, 0.75. But what on earth does that even mean? Well, that score is broken down into 4 risk levels. Anything from 0 up to 0.25 is considered totally normal. But once you get over 0.75, you're in the high risk zone. So that 0.75 we just saw, that lands right on the edge of medium risk. The whole point of this is to help a human proctor figure out who they need to keep a closer eye on. But you can probably guess, putting a risk score on someone's behavior, that's where some big questions start to pop up.
And of course, any system that's watching students this closely is walking a very, very fine line. It's like an ethical tightrope, right? On one side, you have security and academic integrity. On the other, you have privacy. And that brings us to the really crucial ethical part of this whole conversation.
Now, this is something that creators of this tech really want to stress. The AI is not meant to be the final judge, jury, and executioner. Think of it more as a tool. It's designed to flag potential problems and hand over the evidence, but at the end of the day, the final call always comes down to a human educator. It's there to help them, to augment their judgment, not replace it.
So for any of this to be used ethically, there are a few things that are just completely non-negotiable. First, students have to be told what's up, and they have to consent. They need to know they're being monitored. Second, all that video and data, it has to be stored securely, no question. And finally, schools have got to have really clear public rules about how they're using this tech. It really is all about building a foundation of trust and transparency.
And that leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. As we start to bring these incredibly powerful tools into our classrooms, we have to remember we're the ones training them. We're teaching these systems what behaviors to look for, what to value, and what to flag as wrong. So the question really isn't just, can a computer catch a cheater? It's, what does the very presence of that computer teach us about trust, about integrity, and about what it even means to learn in the first place?